Okay, so this is one thing I really want to ask you about. So I personally love your Garfield article. I think it's hilarious in its very twisted way. And I was looking into the history of it because I was like, I've seen all these like "I'm sorry, John" memes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And did you start that trend unintentionally?
I don't know. I think I think it might be coincidental because a lot of whenever I see Garfield SCP on YouTube, it's always like the Gorefield "I'm sorry, John," which is usually very different. Actually, very different to what's in the actual article. So I sometimes get the feeling that people just want to make a Gorefield like video, but want to have SCP in the title, which is a bit cynical of me. But
I think you're underselling yourself. I have a reason why. So I kind of went into the internet history site. I forget the name of it. It's like Know Your Meme, I think. And so the original source isn't your article. They claim it's this comic from I can't remember the name, but it was a comic strip, like 3-panel, 4-panel comic strip where it shows John walk into his apartment and he sees like Garfield textured like fur all over his house and his walls and his items, and then he walks into a room and there's Garfield's face in like the center of the wall. And he says something about like, "I'm sorry, John," or something. And that's it. There's no Gorefield. There's nothing. That's it. Then a couple years, this is like 2013, and there's a few scarce memes, but no trend really picks up. Then your article comes out, and I mean, the description is still kind of Gorefield-esque in the sense that it's just this very disturbing form of Garfield that comes out. And then I noticed the trend kind of explodes after the release. Like the same year in 2018 and 2019 is when
you do have a point there, actually.
So it's like I think you can take that credit. Like to me, the comic came out so like 5 years before the trend. I really don't think like that really created the trend.
What have I done?
How does that feel? Like how cool is that?
It's pretty cool actually if that is the case.
Because I mean, it was not like an isolated thing. Because there were, I think, specific artists that made work inspired by the SCP article, and that's really what created the Gorefield thing. So that's why it looks pretty different than the SCP description.
Yeah.
But it definitely seems like that was one of the dominoes that kind of got that going. So
interesting.
Now you don't need to be as cynical when people say SCP Gorefield. And I like, for example, I have watched like Lumpy. There's a couple other YouTubers who've done like, they basically based a huge chunk of their channel over like just one idea. And there was these really weird live action Garfield stuff. I don't know if you've seen those.
I don't think I've seen. Oh, Lasagna Cat, you mean?
It might be him. Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Lasagna Cat was a definite inspiration to the SCP Garfield, but.
What's like the like if you remember anything from his, like what's, because that's, I'm trying to ring a bell of like that specific one.
It's just Lasagna Cat is like weird Garfield music videos that sort of became more and more surreal into sort of like a 10-hour video of like people answering a hotline.
Oh yes, that is what I'm thinking of. Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, that was one of the things sort of in my mind when I wrote 3166 there.
Do you think that's like peak for you? No, like this is the peak of my career. Look at the monster I've created.
I hope not.
But I will say, I am happy that Bob the Clown. I do like Bob the Clown. I actually was considering making a short film for Bob the Clown, but I'm very happy that that is not your most popular thing.
I have to say the one I wrote in my first week, I'm glad it is not still my peak.
Yeah, I mean that's probably. I mean, do you feel like Garfield was your second biggest thing before 5000 came out, or is that also kind of a sleeper?
I would say the second biggest one was 1437, which is the hole that goes to all the parallel worlds there. Mm-hmm. So that was the next biggest one after Bubble. So I think it's still my third most popular one, unless Garfield overtook it at some point.
Well, on the wiki, Garfield's less popular, but I feel like pop culture-wise, I've definitely seen more Gorefield, if you want to take that credit, which I think you should take some of that credit.
Yeah, it's my. Let's just say I made Gorefield. It's
Or
mine.
help take him. Look, that's what the page says. You have it in writing. Whoever wrote that page.
Yeah. You just have to read the page. What can I say?
I should make a little trophy for you that said Created Gorefield or something. Because I thought like the Gorefield thing was one of the. I didn't even realize it was. When I first saw it, I didn't realize it was there actually was an SCP Garfield. I thought it was like when people were saying like how Siren Head was an SCP, it was just kind of like a fan sandbox thing. So it's kind of a pleasant surprise to see that. But speaking of the sandbox, have you ever messed with that? The SCP sandbox stuff? Do you ever submit work there?
The SCP sandbox. That's basically before I write an article properly, I will write it through the sandbox just so I can see how it look on the wiki.